Welcome back. We had the last Perfected Movement workshop last year, which was probably like 5 times the size, but I'm glad you guys came down. We did go over the squat, bench and deadlift last time, but this time we're obviously going over, what are we going over? The push press, front squats and cleans and clean variations, which are obviously a lot more technical movements. We don't get heaps and heaps of time in class to go over this sort of stuff, so it's a good little opportunity for you guys to learn a bit more, to perfect this sort of stuff, so when you do it in class, you're on top of it. And all those little hidden tricks that you can learn along the way. We've got Sammy here, come down. Everyone knows Sam, national level Olympic lifter. Sam. He's got all the little tricks of the trade. These are his specialties, so it should be really, really good. But before we even start to go over the 3 lifts, we're going to go over a few of the other important things that you need to know beforehand first. So we've got, we're going to run through some stretching, breathing techniques, and over the front rack position as well. So, Sammy boy, let's run through some stretching.
Going to do some stretches, all right. Shall I do them first and get everyone to do it? Or?
Yeah, we'll hand out these sticks.
All right, guys, come grab a broomstick, all right?
You'll have to share, but that's all right. You're going to have to anyway. Here you go, Linda. Go on, mate. Here we go, guys. You'll have to share.
The whole point of these stretches, we're going to quickly go through the front rack. We've all done the front rack before, all right? So even if you're not sure what it's called, okay, front rack is when the bar is resting on the front of our shoulders, okay? It's resting behind the collarbone, all right? So it can be a little bit of an awkward position to get into. That's why we're going to do some of these stretches, all right? So with the broomstick, I don't have one. Can I borrow, Linda, can I borrow yours, all right? So,
you gave yours away.
So what we're going to do, everyone hold it, all right, in that one hand, all right? I like to go elbow on the inside. I might have given you this one already, but then we're going to use our other hand. We're going to hook around the broom, and we're just going to get a twist. All right. So we're getting a bit of rotation through our shoulder. All right. We're not leaning to the side. Okay. If you want to keep the trunk nice and upright, we're going to get a twist as far across the body as possible. All right. Hold it for about, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, and then we're going to go other side. All right. So that's the first one. So have a play around with that one. All right. Should be feeling it through the back of your shoulder a little bit. Maybe through your elbows and through your wrists a little bit. It's a great stretch. This is Oscar's favourite stretch.
That's it, guys. It's really good for the external rotation, so getting that more movement in the arms, which is what we need for that mobility to get into that front rack position.
That's it, that's it.
Yeah.
So you want to try and not lean side to side, just trying to get a twist through your shoulders.
And another thing too, guys, don't force it. Just get into that position when you feel the stretch, and then slowly over time you can crank it around further. Take your time.
Make sure you do both sides.
And then if you're sharing the stick, share the stick.
Do you want to do a last stretch? Don't do one.
Yeah, which one do you want to do? We're going to get kettlebell?
I don't know that one.
Okay. What do you
want
want
to do? Hanging from the rig, like just pulling.
Okay, yep. Or we can even hang from the broomstick.
Yeah. Actually, we can do a partner one. Cross arms.
Okay.
Pull back. Do you know that one?
No, we'll do it.
No. All right, sweet. The next one we're going to do is going to be a lat stretch, all right? You need a buddy up for this one. All right, so what we're going to do, Oscar, don't pull me across halfway the room. All right, you over across hands like this. You're going to sit back and you're going to use your body weight to try and pull each other over. All right, just sit your head relaxed in. So pull, try and pull each other over. That's it. Go Oscar's up there. Being gentle. All right, make sure you balance it. Okay, let the arms relax into it. You're going to feel a bit of a stretch down the side of your shoulders. Get it spread out a little bit, guys. We've got a whole gym. That's it. Just relax the shoulders. That's it. Relax the shoulders. So you don't want to be so upright. You want to sort of.
We'll get it up there.
That's it. So try and put each other over. Sit back into it.
That's it.
You want to try and get your head like this.
Come on, you trying this?
So you don't want to be so upright. So do it like this, yeah. So across, lean back. See how I'm like head all the way in. Pull me back. Pull me back. There we go.
Excellent.
Oh. Do you feel that? Down here?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. That's it. So that's going to get your lats, all right? So you need to make sure they're nice and relaxed. Do you have any more stretches you want to answer that one?
No, that's good. Another variation, guys, you can do is with the broomstick itself. It's stretching out the lats as well. You can do it on the rack or just grab the broomstick and sort of lean down into it. And you can feel all the underarms and switching hands there too. So give that a crack. Sort of start with it in front of you and just squat back into it. Hips right back. Let it feel the stretch out the lats. Excellent. Alrighty, mate.
Let's go through the front back.
Breathing.
Breathing.
Breathing?
All right, sweet. Lisa, do you want to do the breathing one? want to do the breathing?
A quick explanation with the breathing, guys. It sounds it's as simple as breathing, but you know there is a bit more to it. Normally, when we breathe, you know the chest rises. We want to try not to do that. We want to try to breathe into the stomach.
You're breathing.
You know, you might hear it in like yoga, and you know vocalists do it as well. But we do it as well. The reason we do it, when we're filling the belly with air, we're engaging all the core muscles. Okay. We're also creating a nice big belly of air. For example, if you're going to do a squat, any lift, you want it to breathe into the stomach, big barrel of air. So when you come down, that barrel of air gets really tight and it actually helps bring you up. That tension, that tightness, I always say, you know, you've got to keep the whole body tight. Anything loose in the body, you know, weakens your lift. It's like suspension on the car. You know, you don't want that. So, Lise, we're going to run through some breathing.
Yeah, so just with your breathing, guys, you can do it standing up. There's one drill that I actually go through that is the 90-90 breathing. Probably won't have time to go through that today. But in terms of your breathing down into the belly, so if you sit there now, what I want you to try and do is breathe all the way down without letting the chest rise too much. I want you to pop your hands on your tummy. Okay? Take a big breath in through your nose, through your mouth.
So sit up nice and tall.
And I want you to try and breathe out into the stomach, into your hands. So a lot of you will sit there and feel when you just breathe in, this happens. Okay, and what position does that put our lower back in here? It starts to arch that lower back, so your lumbar spine there. So you want to try and keep that nice and strong. So you want to sort of avoid that flaring of the chest from happening. So when you breathe in, put your hands on your tummy and try and breathe in and make your stomach fat. And you want to do that sort of the whole circumference. So you want to think about breathing into the sides as well as your lower back as well. And I know that sounds a little bit odd, but that's essentially what you need to do. All right, can everybody do that in that seated position? Does anybody have any trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, so if you're having a bit of an issue, and for those of you that aren't even doing that, it's probably a good exercise. Just pop down onto the floor and just bring your knees up. And then from here, what you want to try and do is breathe into the tummy and also try and get that lower back flattened onto the floor as well. So, okay, so you can see that I'm pushing my tummy out. Okay, and another thing, when you've got your belt on, that's what should be happening. You should be breathing out into the belt as well. Does anyone want to hop down on the floor and try?
It is easy. It's easy on the ground. It's a lot easier to get on the ground.
It's like birthing class.
You would have seen Dad sitting down and doing these. Guys, this is also good for the nervous systems as well. Okay, so breathing strictly up into the chest is probably going to keep you in more of a fight or flight response. Learning to breathe into your belly is better for your nervous system. So, it's really
So make your hands rise up.
once we've done a heavy session as well.
Feet flat, feet flat. That's it. Yeah.
Into
so
the stomach.
Feet flat, guys. Make
Hands
your
on the belly.
hands rise. Paul, put your hands on your tummy, mate. That's
There
it.
we go.
So you want to try and move your hands. That's it.
Make the breathing loud, guys. Breathe in.
Big
As
breath.
you breathe out,
Fill the stomach with air.
squeeze the core. See, good. Nice, guys. You feel it now?
Good.
Once you're taking the breath, once you're getting into the belly, you might even want to then try and tense your abs at the end of the breath because that's a really good brace position.
Bad news for the ladies if you're forever trying to suck your tummy in. As soon as you learn to breathe like this, bad news. Because every time you breathe, you go. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yes.
How are we
Yes.
going with that? We're feeling it a little bit more into the stomach. All right, that's really important. That we'll come back and touch on that a bit more later, especially with the push press. All right. So let's go through this front rack position. All right. So this is this is really, really important. All right. So obviously our front squats, our push press, and our cleans, we all are in this position at some point. All right. It's exactly the same for each of the three lifts. Okay. So the key points, all right, that we want to find. The bar is in the palm of the hands. Okay. So there's a lot of flexibility going through the wrists, elbows, and shoulders, okay? So each of those points, we need to make sure we're nice and mobile, okay? But Lisa's doing it really well. So it's in the palm of the hands. The reason why we want to do that, do you want to bring it into your fingers a little bit? Sometimes to like this, okay? Sometimes that has to do until we get the adequate mobility, all right? But ideally, we want to make sure we get into the palms. It's a lot more control, all right? Especially when we do our push presses. If you're trying to do a push press, but you've only got like a finger on the bar, chances are you're not going to be able to complete the lift, all right? So it's really important that we get in the palms, okay? Elbows forward, so they don't need to be so high, all right? So if you go up a lot high like that, you're going to find that you're not going to be able to breathe, okay? The bar's going to start cutting off the air to you. You're going to be feeling lightheaded and dizzy, okay? So we just think about bringing them just forwards, okay? Just enough so it's sitting behind the collarbone, all right? Just behind the meaty part of the shoulder here, all right? That's it, all right? So we want to be able to just rest it there, and we want to be thinking about bracing it or holding the weight through our trunk. We're not holding it through our arms, we're just letting it sit there like on a shelf, and our abs are supporting it just like we've breathed in before.
For the push press and the cleans and the front squats, we generally have the hands in a similar position.
Yeah.
Where's ideal?
All right, so your hands are just going to be just outside your shoulders, okay? You don't want them right on, okay? It's really awkward and uncomfortable, okay? It's going to lose out a lot of power. And again, if you go really wide, all right, it's very hard to get in that position because you need so much more flexibility through your shoulders. With the pressing, it'll actually make the range of motion a lot shorter, so it's got its advantages, but very few people can actually hold it in a good front rack position. So I like to say just outside shoulder width is fine, all right? Too easy. Look at that. Awesome.
Excellent.
Let's go through the front squat.
Awesome. So we'll go through the front squat. Yeah, we don't have a rack, but we will be doing it from the rack today. So Lisa will pretend to get it out of the rack. So front rack position. As we just taught, this will be a common thing because that's where we start with both the push press and this, and we end with the clean. And then this is when the breathing comes in. So you've unracked it, you should have taken a breath in already. Before you unrack it, you walk it out, then you stabilize yourself. She takes a big breath in, dropping the hips directly down, keeping the chest, the torso nice and upright, and then driving back up. Excellent, and breathing out. So aiming to hold the breath for the entire lift is very important. A lot of people especially with that old school bro bodybuilder sort of style, breathe in on the way down and out on the way up. You're strongest holding the breath through the whole movement too. Because again, you've got the core activated. If you're breathing out on the way up, you're losing all that core strength, and that's when you collapse. Especially with the front squat, it requires a lot of core to stay completely upright too. So core strength is everything. If you breathe out, you're just going to collapse forward.
With that, when we go heavy with our front squats, it's never really our legs that give up on us when we're doing max. It's always our abs and our trunk. So that's why we need to learn how to brace ourselves properly to be able to perform heavy front squats and doing them well, all right? So it's never really the legs, it's always that trunk, right? Flexing and losing the bar, all right? So again, with the front squat, okay, so we're gonna breathe right into our belly, we're gonna sit, all right? So it's okay, before we sit straight down, so it's a little bit different to a back squat, all right? We're not sort of pushing our hips back at all, we wanna sit our hips straight down. That means we're gonna be loading through your quads a lot more. All right, so we'll see one more being performed. So sit straight down. You'll see your knees, if you come to the side, are going to be right over. It means we're getting our quads going. We get to that bottom position, we drive up, all right, breathing out at the top, all right. Just with one more thing, you can put the bar down. So everyone just stand up again. This is another little trick. It's about placement of the feet, all right. So, you squat different widths, so when we do our push press, you might have your feet a little bit close together. I want everyone just to simply just rock on their feet. All right, so I want you to go heels up, then toes up. All right, we need to learn how to set ourselves. It feels like you're just at the bus stop twiddling your thumbs with this one, all right? It's really, really important, all right? It's a bit of a weird one, okay? But what we want to be able to do, so once you've done it a couple of times, all right, heels, toes, try and find the point in which you feel like the whole foot is planted into the ground, all right? This is really, really important, okay? We need to learn how to keep the weight in our midfoot, all right? Even slightly more forwards for these 3 lifts today, all right? I know we always think about, plan those heels down as well to make sure we're getting the glutes going, all right? We want to be midfoot, all right? Even slightly forwards, all right? Because what happens, if you want to do it, pick the bar up again for our front squat. If we set up, if all our weight is in the heels, all right? She's going to pull her weight. She's going to sit back into the squat. Her torso is going to be coming forwards a lot more. See, there's a lot more stress to her shoulders now. She's having to hold that. We're not holding it through our trunk anymore, all right? We're holding it through our arms and shoulders. So he stands up. When we get to a slightly remotely heavy weight, that bar's coming off, all right? So if she keeps the ball of her foot planted down or our foot centered, we're able to sit down a lot more. We're able to support it through our trunk, all right, and not hold it through our shoulders, through our arms. All right, we can stand up and we can lift a lot more weight that way. All right.
Cool. So guys, we'll set up some bars on the racks there. And we'll start running through the front squats and try and apply everything that we just went through, especially the breathing.
Bring your brochure thingies because they might help you remember those key points.
That's it.
All right, guys, so next up we're doing the cleans, okay? So we'll go through the full clean and then we'll talk about a couple of different variations that there are for the cleans. All right, so you'll see in your little pamphlet, brochure, whatever it's called, all right? Startup or setup, all right?
Have you got one?
Yeah, we got one. All right, so this is really, really important, okay? So with a lot of these lifts, okay, it's about the setup. Once you get that right, the actual execution is pretty straightforward, okay? So you got to think kind of like a deadlift, all right? Sort of spoken about this if you've done some of the classes with the cleans in them, okay? Our feet are a little bit wider than deadlift, okay? So when deadlift, we might have a run at hips, we're having about shoulder width, okay? Hands are just outside our legs, all right? If you look into a clean setup position, all right? You've got your deadlift position here. We're actually more into a squat, all right? So we want to sort of, Oscar's program, the squat deads?
The squat deads, yeah.
Squat deads, where we've sort of started from the top and we come down here. It's like a deadlift, but you're loading through your quads a lot more. That's what we've got to sort of think about here, okay? So what we're going to do, sit hips down, so we feel the legs load up a bit more, and our chest should be right on top of the bar. How we hold the bars, so this is really, really important, okay? It's hook grip. All right, so this is a different grip than what we've used before, okay? You might have been taught this before, okay? But it's where we go thumb first, fingers over the thumb, all right? So that means what happens, we don't have to tense up a lot through our arms to hold it. You actually find that the bar locks into the hands, but you keep the arms nice and relaxed, all right? We don't want to use our arms when we do our cleans. It's all a leg exercise, all right? Do you want to come sit up? So that is our setup, all right? So feet, shoulder apart, all right, hook grip, hips down, so we're loaded through our quads just a little bit more. So how we go about starting the clean, all right? What we don't want to do is just rip the bar off the ground, okay? It's not a very fast lift until the very, very top, okay? It is a powerful exercise, but it's until we get into the right position, we go fast, okay? At the start, it's not very fast at all. So what we're going to need to think about, so this is going to start the lift by pressing the legs down into the ground, okay? So if you think about almost doing like a squat, you stand up through the legs, so you want to just push up to about knee height. She's pushing the ground away with her legs, okay? That's going to get her quads and her glutes going rather than just picking up really quickly, all right, and just ripping it through a lower back because we don't have much power through a lower back. We've got heaps of power through our legs and our hips, all right? So we go back down. So that's probably the biggest thing from the start is getting that right because that helps get everything else sort of flowing. Okay, so we're going to push up with our legs. Let's go a bit higher so we get to about mid-thigh. So this is what we call our power position. We don't do anything fast until we get to this position here, all right? We see our knees are forwards of the bar, so it means our quads are loaded. Our shoulders are on top of the bar, okay? So we're not going to overpull or drive our hips through too much, all right? So you can relax there for a little bit. When we get to here, all right, this is where we go bang, all right? It's not earlier, it's not too high, okay? It's about a mid-thigh position, all right? Do you want to just, you can put that down and have a rest, all right? So we need to get our legs going from the start. That's the number one rule for weightlifting or cleans or like push press, stuff like that. It's all leg drive, okay? Once we get to that position, that's when we go fast and we get a really fast extension. All right, so Lisa's going to demo a nice clean for me right now. All right, so she's pressing through the legs. She's going to get to about mid-thigh. Once she gets there, she's going to get a fast, powerful leg drive to pop that bar up. You notice she actually got underneath the bar to catch it. All right, so we'll do another one. Yeah, do a full clean. So she takes the time. She engages her legs from the start by pressing the floor away. She gets to mid-thigh, she pushes up, and she gets underneath it, all right? We're not pulling the bar up with our arms, okay? Because of that hook grip, we're going to actually be able to pull ourselves underneath the bar, all right?
So just like I always teach a deadlift, and I'm always telling you with the deadlift, we want to get as much weight behind the bar, and we're trying to pull the weight backwards and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty much the opposite. Like we want like all that front end power in this one. So literally, like we were saying before, the weight on the front end of the feet, if not into the toes, and then you'll feel the quads loaded a lot more. So if you're squatting down, you get that heels going if you've been into that habit, but if you really rest all that weight into the toes, you'll feel instantly the quads are loaded, and that's where that leg drive comes from, and that explosive power that'll transfer for everything. So cleans, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just got one more thing I really want to go through. I'll just do this one. It's more just to add on to that point there. It's about driving up with our legs, okay? So it's the reason why we need to be in this position here. All right, so this is our power position. We're sort of in a mini squat. We're not in a deadlift, okay? Because if we sort of drive through fast from here, we're pushing the bar away from us, okay? And that makes it really, really hard to catch. We're gonna have to like chase it, all right? It's really not ideal when we've got a lot of weight on this bar, okay? If we think about pushing, if we're in more of a squat and we push up, that bar travels up, it's a lot easier to then get underneath it and catch it back in that front squat position where our abs are braced and we're supporting it through here to be able to ride that bar down and then stand up with it.
So where would we breathe in this movement, Sam?
Yeah, cool. At the very start, all right? So you need to, yeah, really good point. And you got to hold it the entire time. So better start practicing, okay? It can be a little bit harder to actually get that bracing position from the start, all right? So because we're all jammed up in here, you know, you got a bit more crunched up, but we still need to be able to breathe through our abs when we're in the starting position here, okay? So I'll take that deep breath in. I'm still focusing on my stomach. I'm still holding the tension through there. That allows me to then stand up nice and strong. If I'm sort of relaxed, I'm gonna pull like this. Now I'm not using my legs, I'm using my lower back, all right? This is a really crap position to try and generate a lot of power. All right, so breathe at start. You do your clean. You breathe out at the very top. So you might need to hold on.
It might be natural, like when you do clean it and you're in that squatting position, to breathe out then. That's when we're talking like with the front squat, when you breathe out at the bottom, what happens? You just come forward and you lose the bar. So it is a bit of an art to hold the breath throughout the whole movement with a clean, and especially if you're going to do a press too, because you want to still hold that breath for the entire time. So it is a matter of practicing and just getting better at breathing and holding it. So no matter what exercise you're doing, that like maybe a squat or a clean or an arm curl, you want to learn to hold your breath for the whole time of the movement. So all the way up, all the way down, whatever it is, holding the breath. You know, go to the pool, see how long you can hold your breath underwater.
Easy. So to quickly recap, it's about hook grip. So we relax our arms, get in that strong ab position, all right? And then using our legs to generate all that power, all right? Should we get into it?
Let's do it. Give it a go, guys. Alrighty, guys, awesome work with the cleans. So basically, that's the traditional clean. There are other variations as well, such as like the power clean and so forth. So we're going to run through a couple more variations quickly, and then we're going to get onto the last movement of the day. So, Sam.
Do you want me to go through these ones? All right.
We're going to go through some variations quickly.
Yeah. Yep. So they're written down there. Hopefully I don't miss any, okay? So when it says like clean, all right, so you got your power clean, you got your normal clean. So the traditional clean, all right, is this. It starts from the ground. We're catching a full squat, all right? When we say power clean, all right, power clean means we're catching in our power position. That's our quarter squat position, all right? So we take it from the ground, and we don't get all the way down, but we catch in that quarter squat. All right, so the difference is the depth in which we catch the bar, okay? We then have hang variations. So hangs are really good at the start to learn these movements. It takes away sort of half the lift, so you don't have to think about what's going on for the first part.
So we always talk about from the hang.
Yeah.
Like what exactly is the hang? Do you want to show that?
When it's not from the ground. Anywhere above, not from the ground. So what we usually do is you stand up, okay? You can get like a high hang, a below the knee hang, a very low hang, all right? As long as it's not starting from the ground. I said, usually at the start, you might learn from above the knee. Takes away that part, all right? It's less to think about. It's easier to sort of start implementing like things like that leg drive, all right? So we've done the power clean and the full clean, all right? We then got a hang clean. So the hang clean would be, we stand all up, we go from anywhere above, the ground, not starting from the ground. Because it's not saying power, we're catching a full squat. We then have a hang power clean. So it's getting a bit confusing. We go anywhere not from the ground and catching that core squat. All right, is that all that I've written on the thing? So there's a few different variations.
I believe so. And then we've got just, barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, all the different equipment that we can use.
Yeah, so anything where you sort of take from the ground, catching that front rack position, technically a clean.
Did you put safety bar? Or that's sandbag?
Yeah, sandbag, that's not safety bar.
Don't do safety bar here.
Yep, sweet.
Yeah.
Push press.
And that's it, yeah, we'll go through the push press, guys. So we will be doing it from the rack. Like you could be doing it, if you're getting confident in your cleans, we could do it from a clean and then to overhead. So it is starting in that front rack position again. And this is one of my favorite lifts because it's simply picking something up and putting it over your head. It's a pretty good feeling. Yeah, so holding it up, pretty primitive, but it's good. So do you want me to run? Do you want me to go on the bar? All right, I'll go on the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Either way.
You go.
I'll just reverse curl it. I don't know. So run me through it, Sam.
All right, sweet. So that front rack position stays the same. All right, so the bar's in the palm of the hands, okay? Elbows forwards, all right? Brace into that trunk, all right? Couple of things, all right? I like to say have an upwards gaze, because what happens if we don't and we keep our head over, boom, all right, you're gonna concuss yourself, all right? We don't want that. Happens to most of us at the start. I said you learn the hard way until you've actually clipped yourself in the chin, then you're like, shit, I'm not gonna do that again, all right? You're gonna look up. Once you get that, feet are roughly under our shoulders, all right? Keeping the feet centered, so that still applies, okay? So he's gonna breathe into his abs, he's gonna load up through his legs. He's gonna do a quarter squat. So like our front squat, you sit straight down, all right? We're not pushing hips back, we're not coming forward too much, it's straight down and up, okay? I say this is a leg exercise, all right? I don't really know what percentages, but I say it's about 70% legs, 30% shoulders, all right? We're gonna use that dip and drive to launch that bar as high as we possibly can, so our weaker arms don't have to do as much of the work, all right? So if we do a little crap dip and drive, do you want to do one? All right, we have to press from down here. If he launches that bar up, he only has to press at the top, all right? So we're gonna be able to move a lot more weight, all right? So again, key things, we're gonna brace through the abs. I've got to touch on why. If we don't set the abs, our dip and drive doesn't come up into our shoulders, into our body, all right? We're too relaxed loose here. If we dip and drive, we're gonna do some dance move that, you know, matches that Mexican music, you know, the salsa, all right? So you're gonna make sure you lock the abs in, so when you dip and drive, the power goes up through the body, into the shoulders, launches that bar up, okay? When we lock out, do you wanna turn it around to the side so you can see? The bar is stacked. Not too much, so face Lisa.
Where am I going, man? You just tell me where to go, man.
Stacked. So we're over our wrists, over elbows, shoulders, hips, in the middle of that foot, all right? If he holds that bar a little bit forwards, hold it forwards, a bit more, it's really hard to do, all right? So if you go a lot of weight and you do that powerful drive forwards, you're actually not gonna be able to complete the lift, all right? So you wanna come down and do a couple more good ones, all right? So we brace those abs, we do a quarter squat, big drive through the legs, and we want to press through at the top. All right, have I left anything out, Oscar? Do you have anything to touch on that?
I think we're pretty good.
Yeah?
I think we're pretty good.
This is a good one. This is a leg exercise, guys, so you need to make sure you use those quads.
That's it. Get as much out of the legs as you can, guys, because like he was saying before, they're way bigger muscles than the arms. So we try and get as much of it as we can. Generally, you know, up to about here, and then all you gotta do is lock it out with the arms and the shoulders there, behind the head. All those bigger muscle groups are involved. Like I may have run through a few things with other people when we were learning behind the neck press, how it's already in that strongest position. Because in the front, we do have good drive, but we have to get the head through and lock it out to all those bigger muscle groups, so we are far stronger. So as soon as you can push your head through underneath that bar, you do so. So I'll just do it quickly again. From here, I'll just pretend I dipped. As soon as you can get your head through, push it through and lock it out behind your head. So the head is slightly back, the bar goes head straight through as soon as you can. If you leave it for the last minute, you're gonna have a big disadvantage. So as soon as you can get your head through, get it through, watch your jaw. You know, I've chipped my teeth doing this, coming up like this. You know, it's happened. So just gotta be a bit mindful of that, but you want that confidence to be comfortable to, as soon as you can get your head through, do it.
Alrighty.
That's pretty much it.
Let's go through it. Let's
Cool.
get into it.
Get yourself set up, guys. From the rack, unless we want to throw some cleans in.
If you're feeling
Keep
confident
practicing the cleans. Let's do it, guys.
Do it.
Let's go. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you guys took a bit from that. We got to run through a bit more in detail than we do in class time. And you, yeah, was there any questions while we're here?
Finish a question answer.
You know, it doesn't have to be about this. It could be anything. No, I'm not single. Sorry.
Nah.
Wow, look out. Someone's keen.
No. My number's written on the back of your brochure, right?
No, any questions, guys? Serious? No?
I think with that, with all those three things, like a couple of those like smaller things that we don't really pick up on, like how we position here. I know that breathing one, that is so important,
Massive.
but it's often overlooked. Like it's like, oh yeah, I breathe, cool. But learning how to breathe properly, but not just for these three, like when you know, bench, your back squat, you know, your deadlift, every sort of strength movement or power-based movement, if you can set through your abs a lot more, you're gonna get a lot more out of those lifts. So
Not just that, anything. Bicep curls, tricep extensions, anything. Like I always say, you'll get more out of it the tighter the body is, and that's the most central part of the body, you know, the biggest aspect. You have to get really, really tight. So, yeah, apply it to everything. And there's a few good barbell ones that you were showing us.
Yeah, with the wrists, usually it's not so much the wrist. Your wrist is going to be tight, but it's a lot coming through your triceps. All right. So, for example, if you're struggling to get this front rack position, see how my wrists are actually quite neutral. They're not really flexed a lot like this. All right. That's because my triceps are flexible, so I can sort of. They're not up here. They're down flat like that. See how I'm sort of pulling that back down, so my wrist can stay nice and neutral. That's probably the bigger thing. So you can do wrist stretches. So just ones like just on the ground, right? Simply just like pushing forwards, right? That will increase the flexibility down the front. You can go side to side, the big ones going back like that. You can shift your weight back. But triceps are probably going to be your best option, because then you can sort of increase that flexibility, and that takes a lot of pressure off the wrist in general in that front rack position. So how you can do that, you know, your basic triceps ones like that. Which is the one I showed you? Is that the one in the back of the shoulder?
Yep.
Yeah. So really good one as well is like if you come back here and just sort of go up and sort of go one at a time, might need a bit of weight. Same thing on the front. So I sort of go into one front rack, keep my wrist as straight as I can, and then use that bar to like lever, and that will help sort of stretch out through there. When your bar is on like a squat rack, get your tricep on it and just massage it up. Do some of those, massage it up, loosen up a little bit. That's probably going to do more for your wrist than actually stretching out through your wrists. Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Any more questions, guys? Awesome. Before everyone goes, we are going to get a group photo too. So come on in, guys, let's go.
Let's do it.